This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying HornetBOMB by Pex Peppers. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. This week, we are trying a familiar brand, but a new sauce that we mentioned before that we were curious about. We're doing HornetBOMB. It's a habanero and honey hot sauce. And I don't know, Mike, I don't know if you looked online at the ingredient list, but it is limited. One of the more limited sauce ingredient lists we've ever had.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So yeah, habanero, vinegar, honey, lime juice.
Yeah.
No fuss,
Sorry,
no
I
muss.
I was going to comment on it, but I forgot that we were. I forgot for a second I was on a podcast and just that I had to talk. But yeah, no,
Oh,
I was surprised to see. I was just like, yep, just waiting for someone else to start talking for me.
I have to
But
work on
no,
my
I was
open-ended
really shocked. Like,
questions.
I think I actually refreshed the page when I saw the ingredient list. I'm like, oh, most of it didn't load.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a few sauces like that, the ones we've tried and also ones that I've tasted at shows where I've come to appreciate some of these real basic ingredient lists because you get forward pepper, you get kind of it's more about the balance of those things instead of layer upon layer. And we love layered sauces. Like I've said many a time that Lucky Dog is one of my favorite brands. Like if you're talking favorite brands, Lucky Dog, and he is not one to do simple ingredients. He's going to do layers. Sam from Sam Sauce, same way. But it
Hmm.
is refreshing to see. And I know these guys, they're big pepper heads. They chili heads. They when I talked to them at the Albuquerque show last year, they really did a good job of like walking you through the heat and what's going to kick in, and like they had it down to a science on that stuff. And they had quite a few sauces. So this is the sauce company out of Pueblo, Colorado. So we talked about them. We did a deep dive into them. Unlike normal episodes, we're only doing one sauce. Part of it is the delivery system to Mike's house was not on target in the last few weeks of getting you getting you more sauce. I was like, I don't know what you have. And you're like, it's just this. I'm like, of the ones we haven't reviewed
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
So
right.
so we're gonna be doing this sauce, but I've got a couple fun things for us to do here. One thing was not necessarily a game as much as it's I don't know if you saw we talked about the Sauced app. It's that mobile app that
Hmm.
you can rate and review sauces, and it has a lot of functionality with like upcoming events and links to reviewers. But I don't know if you saw lately they did a large vote for people to vote on their state's favorite hot sauce, and they compiled all of this data because you've seen the U.S. map where it shows like these are the most popular sauces, and it's just grocery chain after grocery chain. It's like
Yeah, it's like Frank's and Burnham's or whatever it
Yellowbird
is.
is like a little bit, and then everything else is
Yeah.
just yeah Frank's, Tabasco, Burnham's. I'm trying to think about Valentina's might have been in there, but they did
Hmm.
a vote, and I posted it on our story when they posted theirs. But state by state, they did a vote, and I was really
Yep.
impressed with the variety. There was a couple brands that got a couple states. I know High Desert Sauce Company got a few states, including Michigan, which
I did see that. Yeah.
that was impressive. And then
That was surprising to me.
Stanky Sauce down in Florida.
Yep.
A couple of them, like some of them are regional. It's like okay, like Halogi dominated, the Montana,
Dakotas.
Dakota, yeah. And then one that was surprising is Harmacy hot sauce out of Tennessee had Tennessee and it had somewhere up by the Boston area. I don't know. It was kind of a little clustered there,
Oh, interesting.
but I
Yeah.
don't know. Like they do a few shows. They've gone to the Boston and the Philly show before, so I don't know if it's just that they've got a footprint there now, or they just maybe during the Philly show a couple weeks ago they just like hit that vote hard. Where it's like, hey, vote for this sauce because it did stand out.
Right.
But that was pretty cool. If you haven't seen that, we'll try to link it. I'll try to post again about it. But Apocalypse was another one. Forgot about that. Apocalypse, their state, they got the vote over there. So I was hoping, I was what I'm hoping now, and I might message them. I mean, if they listen to the podcast, great. But if I might message them privately and be like, can we get like a top 3 breakdown of some of the states? Maybe not all the states had a great diversity of votes, but I'd love to see like what's Michigan's top 3 or top 5 that were voted.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Yeah,
so
I was not that it's not a good sauce. It very much so is, but I was really surprised to see that Michigan had high desert sauce, which is, what is it? New Mexico?
mhm.
Or, yeah, New Mexico sauce. That was surprising to
I
me.
think it's Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, very opposite of Michigan.
But the thing that isn't surprising with that one is For the Love of Hot Sauce, the Facebook group, huge high desert sauce company uh, fan base in there. When people ask for suggestions, high desert sauce companies in there, not just from Zach, but from fans of his sauce. So he
Yeah.
does have a very strong following. So,
Nice.
but besides that, I have another fun game for us to play. This is me taking what the kids are doing on TikToks and YouTube Shorts and making it a game that you actually would enjoy and not, gouge your eyes out at trying to us act like I don't know what they are, 12 that do this stuff online. But this is a fun game. You're given. I'm going to give you $15 of a budget, and I'm going to give you 4 categories, each priced from $1 to $5, and you're going to build your best hot sauce festival or show.
Okay.
All right. So you got $15. The first category is venue. We're going to do parking lot for $1. $2 is downtown farmers market. $3 is a local brewery. $4 is outside of a major sporting event. $5 is a major city food or drink festival. Think of like with Grand Rapids, they used to do Art Prize or the Grand Rapids Festival in general. So which one would you do?
I'm going to invest in the location. I'm going to go $5
Okay.
for the food festival.
Alrighty. All right. So now you get a brand sponsor. So this is a hot sauce or hot sauce similar company is going to co-sponsor this event for you. For $1, you get Frank's. $2, you get Truff. $3, you get Lucky Dog. $4, Yellowbird. $5, Hot Ones or Heatonist.
People recognize Frank's.
Okay.
They recognize Truff also,
I mean,
but
Truff
I'm gonna.
does. I almost thought about putting Truff at 1 just because I know that neither of us like Truff, but they are marketing marvels. So it's like
Yeah.
you could almost argue that you could put them at 5 because of their marketing prowess, but also I don't know if their
Right.
clientele would vibe with us.
I think Frank's was $2. I'm gonna go Frank's for $2.
That's a good sell. All right, now you get a celebrity guest. So for $1, you get a guy that's just known for having the most hot sauce tattoos in Guinness World Record. For number 2, you get a local YouTuber or influencer. For $3, you get Guy Fieri. $4, you get Sean Evans. 5, you get to pick the celebrity of your choice.
I think you said Guy was
Yeah.
$3. I'm gonna go Guy for $3.
Okay. All right. Now for entertainment, this is so for $1 you get an iPod with a boombox. For $2 you get a live band karaoke. For $3 you get professional wrestling. Shout out to Shout out to Steve Seabury who does this at his shows. For $4 you get a live episode of Hot Sauce Havoc, which is his cooking contest. And for $5 you get to pick the band of your choice.
Is this my last category?
This is your last category.
I'm gonna go $5. Band of my choice.
There you go. What band would you pick?
I'm probably going. Probably Disturbed.
Okay.
A lot of tattoos at that concert.
Yeah.
Tattoos usually means hot sauce,
Okay.
except for you and I.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
think
say.
I think I mentioned this to you last week. We're the only two in the hot sauce community that don't have tattoos.
I know. I feel like I need to get, whether it be temporary or permanent, I need to get some type of ink because it's like, yeah, it. Aside from not having a beard, like you at least have the beard. If you grew the beard a little bit longer, like if you were gonna like grow it out a bit, not
Yeah.
right during a hot sauce show is the time to do it. But yeah, with no beard, I mean, at this point, with no tattoos, no beard, I got the mustache, the shaved head. I'm more of a cop than a hot sauce
Yeah,
vendor.
right.
But
This will remove any street cred I have. I bought a washable sleeve tattoo off from Etsy just to try it before I actually commit to one.
yeah,
I do want a sleeve, but I'm just terrified that like 3 days later I'm going to be like, God, I don't like it.
it's expensive too.
They are
Like a whole
expensive. My
sleeve, and it's a
well,
lot of time. That's a long investment of getting it done too. Because I had a friend that one of my
yeah,
roommates, he was getting a full sleeve done, and it was a very elaborate, and it was weeks of him going back in. So
yeah. Both my brother-in-laws are very decorated, and a lot of time and effort goes into those and money.
nice. Yeah,
Not for me,
I
but I like the idea.
I should have put Frank's higher on the list because I know you do love Frank's, and it is, even though it's not considered you in the craft space, it's not recognized as anything fancy. It is a still a well established name, and you could probably get Jason Kelsey to show up just because he is the spokesman of Frank's hot sauce. So
Is he actually?
yeah, I mean he was in all the advertisements recently. He's been their main
I
spokesman.
don't watch TV.
Oh my gosh. You don't do
Like I
superhero
literally I don't
movies.
have
You don't
cable.
do sports. You don't do. You've
I
never
don't
done a
watch.
drug. Uh,
I don't.
you
I
don't
don't
do.
know.
I don't
Why
know.
did you throw that one in there? That is true. I think I accidentally did whippets one time, out of a Cool Whip or
Yeah, because you were trying.
whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
I had my kids one time almost did that when they were like, oh, let me do it, and they went to squeeze it. And I'm like slapped out their hand. I'm like, you can't just like partially. You got to go full.
You can't do just the
Like,
aerosol.
jeez. Like I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. So
That's funny.
yeah, but the Franks, I think Jason Kelsey has been the spokesman, and then I would. So if it was up to me now, I've had a little bit of since I made the list. I had a little bit of time to look at it. I would probably go local brewery for three. I would do Lucky Dog because I'm a fan of Lucky Dog. Even though it wouldn't have as much of a pull from like a nationwide, uh, but Lucky Dog is a Hot Ones alum and stuff, and it gets Scott. It gets me a reason to get Scott over here or Steve. No, Scott. I saw Steve Seabury got me confused. And then I think I would go with Sean Evans, just because that gives me the nationwide recognition. And then I just want to see an episode of Hot Sauce Havoc being recorded, so I would pick that for
Hmm.
my own benefit. It would be like, hey everybody, we can see that. And I would just be front row with popcorn, or I'd be like, since it's my event, I'm like, let me just mingle with them. It doesn't have to be on the camera part. Once they go to one spot and be like, hey, what are you cooking? Oh, that's interesting. And then they move to the next one. I jump in and go, now I want to hang out. So
Hmm.
probably would be a distraction. They'd be like, I would have won the contest if Matt didn't keep dipping his finger in the pots and licking them. Then I had to
Kept trying it. Yeah.
re-sterilize the spoons. But
I'm gonna change mine real quick. I'm gonna go Rob Zombie instead of Disturbed.
okay.
I feel like Rob Zombie is gonna draw in the more hot sauce crowd.
Or
It's a good move for.
so if we're going, if you want to get the biggest audience, you got to go Taylor Swift, because then you're going to get all the people
No,
that don't come in for hot sauce, and then you're going to get that.
no, I don't care
Got
about
to get
that.
Taylor Swift. I'm gonna you do Taylor Swift, you do Paul Rudd as your celebrity because everyone loves Paul Rudd. You know, you do
You get
Truff.
Michael Cera
You
on,
do
and no one knows about it because they can't hear him.
okay. What would be your? I'm trying to think of what would be the least positive one for you if you did. So you did Taylor Swift as your entertainment. We do Truff for $2 because you do celeb of your choice, which would be LeBron. So that we're at $12 right there, and then the parking lot of, I don't know, a bean factory. Bush's Baked Bean parking lot.
Bush's baked beans
Yeah,
parking lot.
there's the nightmare.
That sounds,
That'd be the
that sounds
opposite.
awful. I do appreciate. What was the dog's name?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I know who you're talking about. That kept the secret,
Yeah.
or was
Oh
he
my
was supposed to?
gosh, what is the dog's name? I appreciate that dog. I really like red dogs.
Yeah. I mean, the dog was great. The guy, they could have changed out the guy every episode or every commercial. I would not have noticed.
he kind of looked like you actually, didn't he?
Probably. We're very forgetful. Ironically, it was me.
Well, I'm pretty
I'm the
sure he
Bush's
looked a
baked bean
lot
guy.
like you. What if it's been you the whole time and I just didn't know it?
Yeah, I've got big baked bean money you haven't known about.
Oh yeah, that's definitely you.
Glasses or no glasses?
Glasses.
Oh, yeah, with the glasses. He's wearing a blue shirt.
You've even got a blue shirt on too.
Man, if only I had that Bush's baked
Oh,
bean
that's
money.
awesome. His name is Pierre Maguire.
That's a weird combination for a baked bean guy.
There you go.
Would not have guessed Pierre in 100 guesses.
Oh, Duke. Duke is the dog.
Duke.
That's what it is.
Which is weird they never did a crossover with mayonnaise. I mean, you can't really do baked beans and mayonnaise. But his name's Duke.
Don't ruin mayonnaise for me.
And now, a word from this week's sponsor. What if I told you that the hottest stories aren't told in stadiums, they're bottled? That across the country, over 70 small batch makers aren't chasing fame, they're chasing fire. That heat isn't just a number, it's a journey. And flavor? That's the playbook. At Scoville.com, they don't just deliver hot sauce, they deliver legends, one bottle at a time. Whether you crave the slow burn or the instant hit, the underdog tang or the champion's punch, Scoville lets you pick the heat, the flavor, the food pairings, and they bring it to your door. Curated, personalized. Every month, your taste is the headline. Go to Scoville.com, use code TheHeatSource, and get 50% off your first month subscription box. Because every sauce has a story, and it's time you tasted it. But all right, let's get into this pepper. We made our hot sauce event. At our event, obviously we have Pex Peppers there, coming in from Colorado. That'd be the toughest thing is that Michigan. There's a handful of sauce makers I know around Michigan, but if there was an event in Michigan, a lot of the ones that I would want to get at a show, they'd have quite a drive. Like I'd want Down to Ferment, Lucky Dog, Stanky Sauce, Harmacy out of Tennessee, Lauren from Hot Graham. Those are people that we really do enjoy talking to and getting to know, and so that would be a tough one. Of Michigan, Miletta's is the close one. That'd be an easy call. That'd be probably my first local call.
Yeah. The smell's really hot.
I mean, it smells just like pure habanero.
It's got that oily heat to it, or that oily smell.
So there was a breakfast hot sauce from Fat Baby Hot Sauce that was very limited ingredients, and it had habaneros as the primary pepper as well. It was very pepper forward, but it was delicious because that's all you were getting. It was just balanced pepper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's called Hornet Bomb.
To me, this smells like a 4. What's on the bottle as far as the heat rating?
It says hot. It just says hot. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Oh, interesting. It smells way hotter than that.
I mean, it's still a habanero, pepper. I mean, I know they can get hot, but like, I don't think it might be in a real strong hit, but I don't know about the linger, the build. The Reaper builds. Man, that is strong.
It smells good though.
Yeah, I feel like this is one. The second spoonful is going to tell us more about the flavor than the first. It's got a beautiful red color though. That's the thing. We did the Wildberry Whoop Ass, and the color on that was really, really nice. And I've been using that sparingly. It is really good. It's so strong.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Yeah, this is a very bright
man.
red.
You're
Smells like
drinking it
orange.
from the jar too. That's going to be tough.
It's going right from the jar.
All right, let's do this. I got the honey first.
Much sweeter than I thought it was going to be.
Sweet initially, and then
Definitely hot.
yeah, I'm gonna get a hiccup from this.
Whoa.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's burning.
It's very habanero forward. It's really good though. You get sweet immediately.
The honey was the first
It's
thing I
very
got.
sweet right away. And then the habaneros kick in.
Not getting so much of the
Man, that is good
lime.
though.
I know that's probably just to balance out some of the vinegar, give it a little more
That'd be
citrus.
good on just chips.
Yeah, I mean, they could easily just drizzle this all over nachos, breakfast
What did you
food.
call? So I don't know if this is a thing. We may have talked about this. You know when you do just chips and shredded cheese, throw it in the microwave and melt it?
Yeah,
What did you call that?
I don't think I call it. You sent me a picture of someone calling it like, was it poor people food
It
or
was like
poverty
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 nachos.
nachos? I mean, we call it
Yeah.
chips and cheese. It was what it was.
I called it chips and cheese, but then
If you want to get real fancy, drizzle a bit of ranch, little salsa. Oof, now you're going over the top.
who can afford that, Matt? Come on now.
I mean, you do like Jackson Pollock splashes of salsa. You don't use a full spoonful.
Uh,
Ooh, that's
but
hot.
no, yeah, I'm definitely drooling from that one. No, I saw
The
they were
honey
called
and the
poverty
lime
nachos.
both
And
hit
I'm
at the
like,
beginning. The honey and the lime both hit at the beginning, and then that habanero comes in.
yeah,
I don't know why I just did
I'm
a
still
second
just
spoonful
rolling.
so quick. Chug, chug, chug.
You do. After I tried it the second time, I get a lot more lime on the second hit.
It's that initial taste. So you get that initial taste. It reminds me of, in the very vaguest sense, because it's obviously a very different flavor profile. There was a ghost pepper ceviche I had where you had the lime juice that had a cooling factor, and then the heat kicked
Hmm.
in, and you were just alternating. Except with this was the same thing though, because you're getting that lime and that honey, that initial sweet. It's like, ooh, that's really nice, and then the heat kicks.
Yeah.
The only thing when you think of a hornet, now you probably know better about a hornet sting. I don't know if it's just like an immediate punch or if it's a longer pain index on that. But this holds more than like an initial just a bomb and then it's like done. That heat is holding pretty
Yeah.
good. It's not building. It's there and it's just holding steady.
You know what this would go good on? It'd be a good replacement for, you know, when you do like loaded tater tots with like blue cheese and buffalo sauce
Yeah.
on there? Replace it with the buffalo sauce so you get like the cooling from like the blue cheese sauce or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be really good on there.
That would be good.
Loaded tots.
No, I really like that. It is definitely strong. Definitely I I'm reacting
Seems
a
like
bit, but I'm not like I thought I was gonna start crying. And I haven't
yeah.
gotten there yet. Like my tongue is, salivating, like my mouth is definitely salivating, but I'm not sweating as much. So I mean, it is a very strong 3 out of 5.
You know what we should do?
But like then
You should cut this out and then we should let's sell this idea as
heat. You don't want that in the episode.
okay. No, I'm tired of giving out $1 million ideas.
I've yet to see anyone take any of our $1 million ideas though.
It's because they're so rich they don't want to talk to us anymore.
Side
They
note,
have no need to talk to us.
did you see? Have you watched any of the recent Hot Ones episodes lately?
I've not, no.
You need to watch Will Forte, formerly of Saturday Night Live. He just did, I think it was last week. He did his.
Hmm.
He went through that whole gauntlet, pouring sauce on the wings. Nothing. No reaction.
Really? I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Will Forte, he did a skit on SNL called MacGruber that made fun of MacGyver, and then he had a movie based off of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Yeah, I think they just announced that there was a Looney Tunes movie that he was a part of that the Warner Brothers was going to scrap completely, even though it was completely done. They were going to scrap it for a tax write-off, and instead, they finally got through the legal part of it, and it's going to be released. So, which is fun. I like seeing Looney Tunes stuff coming back. There apparently is a Looney Tunes movie out right now that is actually pretty good for kids, like legit
Really?
old school 2D animation. So
Like Dynamite and stuff. Hopefully they brought that back.
yeah, the Dynamite's really what you were concerned about. Like
I don't think the Dynamite did anything to the boomers.
I just feel like they really oversold how much I would be interacting with anvils and dynamite growing up. I thought anvils were going to be around all over the place. Like
They were in our office for a while.
I'm talking about like decently sized anvils. But yeah, so Will Forte, he went through it, and I know there's been some other guests. I know Lord is one of them, the musician Lord. She didn't have much reaction. Conan was one where he was like making a joke out of it, but like he still
Mhm.
seemed to be handling it better, even though he was like putting on a whole show. It's like you're still reacting far better than people that are just trying to like fight through it. So
Yeah.
it was
Lord's business model is insane.
what's that?
She's got it figured out.
Whose?
Lord's,
Hmm.
she drops one album every 5 to 10 years, makes a couple $1 billion, and then just goes into hiding in Australia, I think, for the next 5 years.
It's the Daniel Day Lewis approach. That actor comes out of retirement like yeah every 5 to 10 years, wins an Oscar. See you guys later.
Yeah.
I'll be back for my Oscar in 10 years.
And goes into hiding.
Yeah, but he's one of those like full method actors too. I think where I don't think mentally he could sustain acting every year in film, or he would
Hmm.
never have any family or friends probably.
Yeah.
Ooh, I I took another spoonful. I love that initial hit of that lime and that honey, and then the pepper is all you get after that for me at least. But
Hmm.
I'm real curious how that would go on, like when you put it on a dish, like a nacho or breakfast food, or throw it on,
A
with your
seafood
wings,
nacho with
seafood
like a
nacho.
shrimp ceviche on it or something.
But how that initial hit comes through in that food. But I what was your fact on this one? Have a guess that you went with hornets, bees.
I did not. I actually got this back to Direwolves. It took like a couple degrees, but
Sure.
we got there. Did you hear about that in the news?
Yeah, that they were doing some breeding to bring back dire wolves.
They de-extinct. Well, as close as we're going to get to de-extinct direwolves.
Okay.
So my fact is more of a mini discussion because it's exciting. I love it. So the company Colossal and how I got here. Is this a Colorado-based company or are they
Yeah.
just sourced from Colorado?
No, it's
You
Colorado.
said
They remember
Pueblo,
this
right?
is the company that they moved to Colorado,
Oh,
particularly
that's
because
right.
of the
Exactly.
peppers and what that area produces.
Right.
Hmm.
So I think it was 2023.
Okay.
2023, Colorado very controversially reintroduced gray wolves into a couple different areas in
Okay.
Colorado that were not wanting wolves.
Hmm.
Essentially, Denver and Boulder determines how the laws get made in the entire state. So ranchers up in the mountains have no say, and all the people in Denver get to say, "Hey, you guys get wolves now."
Okay.
So in the wolf world, dire wolves from the company Colossal were, I say de-extinct, and I am kind of torn. I absolutely love what's going on. I think it's really neat.
Hmm.
They say they de-extinct the dire wolf. They made something, and this is the reality of it. They made something as close as we'll probably ever get to a dire wolf. So to say it's a dire wolf is
Is it
it's
more of like a
pretty
like hey we made an homage to the dire wolf?
yes,
Okay.
yep. Because what they did, they got as close as they could, and then they just kind of filled in a couple gaps here and there with, I believe, gray wolf, probably the closest thing to the dire wolf.
Hmm.
So it's not a carbon copy of what we would have had back in the day. It's close enough though, so it's still exciting. It's
Yeah.
still really neat.
What's
First de-extinct animal to come
what's
back.
the purpose of bringing it back?
So they did it.
Just to see if they could?
It's yeah, it's kind of a complex thing. So the company Colossal,
Hmm.
they're a de-extinction company. That's what they're registered as, is a de-extinction company.
Okay.
If a company starts up and says, and this is my feelings on the company, if a company says, "Hey, we're going to save the rhinos,"
Hmm.
well, there's like a ton of companies today that say that and try to save the rhinos.
Right.
If you can prove and you can have the financial backing to de-extinct and start, essentially make waves,
Hmm.
stir it up, stir up the world with de-extincting something, I think you can get a lot more buy-in.
Okay.
So I think what they're doing is they're using de-extinction as a tool to say, hey, look at how legit we are, get a bunch of investors and funding and public buy-in.
Hmm.
And then they use that technology to say, now that we've proved ourselves, we can actually apply this to living things. Like there was, I think it was on Joe Rogan. I think it was the CEO of Colossal was on Joe Rogan, and they've already made a bunch of red wolves
Okay.
for the Carolinas. They made a bunch of them and said, you know, we have them in a pen. Do you guys want them? They're more genetic diverse than the 25 wild ones you guys have left. So they're already doing that. But I think they're using de-extinction essentially as a kind of like a bargaining chip, or almost like not a bargaining chip, but just kind of a, hey, this is really cool. This will draw a lot of attention.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the purpose of them. Next, they're working on a mammoth right now. I think mammoth,
Well,
dodo bird, and
because they're the ones that did
thylacine.
the woolly mammoth mouse that we talked about with Ratty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Same company, and they actually hid the direwolf. So they didn't tell anyone that they were going to do this. And then one day, Time Magazine dropped it, and then Joe Rogan released an episode that day. So they kept it hush hush, kept it a secret. I think I don't know why they would have done that. I think it was more just the explosion of, the breaking news of, oh my gosh, we made a
Yeah.
dire wolf now.
Do you think that's crazy? Wait till the Pegasus comes out.
Yeah, dude, some of the stuff they're doing is really wild. It would not surprise me if they're like, yeah, we slapped wings on a horse.
It's
It's
yeah.
not gonna fly, but you know,
But yeah, we did it. It structurally will not hold up.
yeah,
Um,
doesn't work at all.
yeah, it's. I saw the headline about the dire wolf, and like my first question when I saw that was just like why are we doing? Like, what's the goal of this? And then my next question after that was like, I don't know. That's when I kind of dove into my own thought of like, if we believe in like natural kind of selection, obviously humans and what they've done to environment has a unnatural effect on all this stuff. Like we talked about at the field museum, they had the thing where it's like, hey, the humans are the cause of most extinctions, beyond catastrophic events or whatever.
Yeah.
So like obviously it's kind of like, hey, our bad, let's undo a little bit of it. But like if
Hmm.
something died out naturally before we even were around, it's interesting to be like, why do we need to undo that when it's like it ran its course? Like it's cool to say that you could do it, but I'm like, I don't know. That where
Yeah,
it gets
you
a little
sound a lot
iffy
like
for me.
Malcolm. You're like, this is not, deforestation or the building of a dam. Nature selected
Yeah.
these. I could recite that entire movie word for word, but no, that's what Malcolm was getting at. He's like, there's two things: we screwed it up
Hmm.
and it's gone, or we weren't around and it's gone
Yeah.
still. You know.
Yeah, like the ones
So at
the
that point, there's no longer a niche
is
for it,
it
really.
is it the white rhino that like is it finally extinct, or is it down to like its last couple?
I can't. They've they subspecied out rhinos so much that I can't keep track.
Okay.
There's like northern black rhinos, southern black
Sure.
rhinos, northern white rhinos, southern white rhinos. A couple of them went extinct a few years ago, I think, or
Yeah.
at least one did. I mean, the good news about Colossal though is all they need is like a viable tissue
Hmm.
sample, and they can make as close as you can possibly get now.
Sure.
If they can do that with a dire wolf, it would be the easiest thing in the world for them to do that with a rhino.
Yeah. That was what my
So there's definitely some good that
yeah.
comes out of it.
Because like if there's ones that are like near extinction, but it's like, well, they're not quite extinct yet, but it's like we just can't get them to breed. It's like that would be an
Yeah,
opportunity, but
and
it's
and
not
that's a
as
big thing
it's not
too
as
when you're.
flashy as bringing something back from extinction, especially one that's been gone for a excessive amount of
Yeah,
time.
I think it was just a flex. I
Yeah.
think the company's just a power move. I think their goal is to work on things that are alive now and preserve what's alive now, while in the background being like, well, let's have some fun with this. But
Yeah.
and that's part of the thing too when you're dealing with animals that are going extinct. There's very few individuals, which means there's very little genetic diversity.
Hmm.
One of their big things is they've figured out a way to essentially add in diversity to existing populations. So they can take an embryo, they could probably breed a brother and sister, but change enough things. Let's say you're left with a brother and sister rhino left. my guess is they could probably change enough and add enough genetic diversity in there where you would have a healthy offspring instead of this, this
Sure.
thing that can't reproduce or, is not healthy.
Okay.
Anyways, that's my not a fact, but my excited.
Your
I
fun
was holding that
discussion.
back. I'm surprised you didn't bring it to me sooner. I'm surprised you're that passive about it. We're gonna have mega wolves running around now.
I mean,
It's
we
funny.
haven't.
So I've never watched Game of Thrones, but people know dire wolves
Mhm.
from Game of Thrones, and I believe in Game of Thrones they're like these giant 5 foot tall, 300-400 pound mega wolves.
They're pretty big. I don't know if
Yeah,
they're necessarily taller. Some of them they have them pretty tall. Yeah. I was trying to think of like I
like
don't.
they're only like 25% bigger than a wolf, which a
Yeah.
big wolf is huge. It's probably close to like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
But I think they were saying like the average dire wolf is gonna be the the average dire wolf is close to like the max size of a gray wolf,
Okay.
which is huge, you know.
Hmm.
But it's not gonna be like staring you in the eye.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well. All right. Direwolves. Yeah. Had we had anything with wolves, I could have brought it up, but like I just noticed it recently. I don't know if we already recorded the last episode. But I'm gonna.
We did, but we had to redo the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had two opportunities to
That's why I
bring up
didn't bring it up.
direwolves.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going to get into my fact. I want to know where you think I went with this.
Because you thought I went with hornets, I'm gonna say you didn't do hornets. I'm gonna say you went with. I'm gonna go hornets. You went with hornets, didn't you?
I thought about going with like the biggest bomb movie out there, but there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there was some to it, but it wasn't a whole lot. So I went back.
Bomb movie like Oppenheimer or
No,
like Snow White?
like John Carter, which is statistically the
I don't
biggest
know.
bomb of all time.
I don't know what that is.
John Carter is a movie from I think 1999 that was an adaptation of a book that was one of the early sci-fi books that inspired anything from Star Wars to Avatar, and they finally made it into a movie, and it was meant to be a trilogy, and it was so bad in the first movie that the whole thing got scrapped.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that's not my fact. I did go Hornet, but I went because I love basketball. I went Charlotte Hornets. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that
Okay.
franchise. Very
I am.
iconic starter jacket back in the day, back in the 90s.
Is it North Carolina or South Carolina?
I believe it's North Carolina, but I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure. But have you seen the Charlotte Hornets? You've seen the logo. It's the Hornet in the purple and the teal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a Hornets jersey when I was a kid.
Hornets were in the 90s, like it was a big thing. There was an iconic team with some Hall of Famers on it. There was the starter jacket, which I looked it up, the number two most popular starter jacket behind the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, which the Bulls, for good reason, they were six-time champions in the 90s. Charlotte Hornets were good, but they weren't. There was no titles won
Are
in
they still
Charlotte.
around?
Yes, technically, but there's been a lot of. There was the Charlotte Hornets existed. Then they eventually moved to. There was. They had moved to New Orleans. Then they were the New Orleans Hornets, and then the Charlotte Bobcats came in. Then the Charlotte Bobcats became the Charlotte Hornets again because the New Orleans Hornets became the New Orleans Pelicans. So like, well, since you're not using that mascot, can we have the Hornets back for Charlotte? There's a whole thing where those franchises are confusing.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was interesting because usually a team is named like Utah. The Utah Jazz were originally based in Louisiana, and so Jazz was named because of the culture of jazz down in New Orleans.
Hmm.
The Pistons, it was originally named after the car manufacturing. The Lakers were originally based in Minneapolis, so the Lakers because of all the lakes in Minneapolis and near and
Oh
around
really? I did
Minneapolis,
not know that
and they
one.
just kept it. So I was like, well, let me see why they're called the Charlotte Hornets. And so it said that the Charlotte Hornet name actually came from a nickname during the Revolutionary War. The British General Cornwallis referred to Charlotte as a hornet's nest of rebellion due to the city's resistance to the British.
Interesting. So not actually the bug.
Nope, not actually the bug. Just it's about the hornet's
Interesting.
nest and the teal. They said the teal's primary letter coloring and their uniform, designed by Alexander Julian, featured the first pinstripes in NBA history. So no other jersey had the pinstripe design before they did.
Do they still rock the pinstripes now?
On throwbacks, I don't think. Oh, actually, I think that's still a part of their everyday jersey. It throws me off because, again, they were the Charlotte Hornets, then the New Orleans Hornets, then they were the Charlotte Bobcats, which did not have pinstripes, and then they readapted the Hornets. So now I think they do have the pinstripes.
Yeah.
It was a
Well, that's
confusing
cool.
thing because, like, when they were New Orleans, I think that was right around, might have been around Katrina or one of the hurricanes or one of the natural disasters. So they relocated to Oklahoma City during that season, and it went so well that then the Oklahoma City Thunder became a franchise, and that's where the Seattle Supersonics moved to. So there's a couple teams that shuffled, and then some teams that just have been in one spot for like decades.
I've been out of basketball for so long.
Yeah, I mean it's
Like half of the teams that you're throwing at me sound like they're right out of
oh,
semi-pro.
the New Orleans Pelicans are terrible. Their mascot, they have a New Year's baby mascot that is one of the more terrifying mascots in the NBA.
I don't understand the New Year's baby thing.
I don't know either. I can't help you with that one.
It's pretty terrifying though.
That one, and they also had their Pelicans one also was terrifying. I don't know if they ever redesigned it, but New Orleans had
How do you screw up a pelican? They're cool looking.
both of those looked like they
Guess
were
what?
trying
Guess
to
what? My
devour
favorite
the
jersey
children at the
was when I
game.
was a kid.
Your favorite jersey when you were a kid?
Oh, it should be so easy
Toronto
for you.
Raptors.
Raptors.
Mm.
Oh, that little red dinosaur dribbling the basketball. I thought that was the coolest
Yeah, he
freaking
was
thing
doing it
out there.
between the legs.
Yep. And my favorite, you should be able to get this one too. Guess who my favorite in NBA Jam for Sega Genesis 1998, I think. Guess who my favorite team to be was?
So not the Raptors.
It's not the Raptors, but it's another staple of me. It's another Michael Pillar.
Oh God. Trying to go back to the 90s.
Just, it's not hard, man. I'm a dumb hick, and you got a buddy that's in the industry.
Oh, the Bucks.
The Milwaukee Bucks,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. I always forget. So
I'm like, that's a good buck. I'm going to be that
it
team.
throws me off because I always forget. Like their logo at one point was like a legit just deer silhouette, like with the eyes and stuff. But I always
Yeah.
forget sometimes because their jerseys have changed so much. Where sometimes they went away from the actual buck that they were named after, and I always think of also the Tampa Bay Bucks, which are not
Mhm.
deer. So
Yeah. I miss the teal Pistons.
they just
They just had the black horse with the teal jerseys. That was cool.
so those were cool. At the time, people hated them, and then once they left, everyone loved them, which is how it goes. But they did come out with a redesigned jersey or like a specialty jersey. It's a black jersey, but the edge coloring on all the trim is teal, maroon, and yellow. So the core colors from the 90s
Mhm.
era. It's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And the Pistons are in the playoffs for the first time in like 6 years. So,
They made the playoffs this year?
yeah, number 6 in the East, going up against the
Really?
Knickerbockers,
Is that a team?
the New York Knicks.
Are the Knicks short for Knickerbockers?
Mhm.
You're joking.
I'm not.
Are you
There's
serious?
an extra fun fact for you, just throwing in some extra NBA fun facts.
So once again, I shouldn't throw this on the internet. What? I don't even know what a Knickerbocker is.
That I don't know. I'm sure it's something relevant to the history of New York.
Huh. Dude, I
Um,
had no idea that it was an abbreviation. I like Bucks, Buccaneers, Knickerbockers. I would have never got that.
pull this up here. All right. So, have you gotten into your score at all yet on this sauce?
I have not. Hang on, give me 9 seconds. I'll figure this out.
Okay. And I do feel bad. I did not mention, let me mention pexpeppers.com. Pex Peppers LLC is the Instagram handle. Pex Peppers on Facebook. Um, the description on the bottle, because I totally forgot to look at the description on the bottle here. Do you dare to taste the delicious pain of the hornet's sting? This sauce is no joke. Hornet Bomb is loaded with fresh habanero, tangy lime juice, and sweet Colorado honey. This fiery but flavorful sauce is great on tacos, crab rangoon, pizza,
That would
seafood,
be.
and more. One question remains: are you brave enough to challenge the hornet? Please refrigerate after opening. I don't think that was supposed to be a part of the spiel, but it's the next thing, so I had to include
It's
it.
like they're all aggressive and and very direct, and they're like, and By the way,
It's
please
kind of like
refrigerate
in
this.
the beer commercials where they're like, are you tough? Are you gonna drink this beer? Like you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Please drink responsibly. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Don't drink too many of them.
but like only a real man drinks this beer. You gotta down this and go for a drive. Please don't drink and drive.
You gotta go for. You ever see the video? This would be a good video without context. The video of
We don't do videos without context.
we do now. We
I
should
don't
now.
think it will logistically work.
No, it can work. You can put it in Instagram somehow. You're the tech guy. You can figure it out.
I like
The
your confidence in like, hey, we got a guy that can figure that out. It's you. You're the guy.
you can. I believe in you
Thank
fully.
you.
It's the news broadcast when they outlawed drinking and driving, and everyone's
Oh
like,
yeah, and everyone
"What
freaked
am I
out.
supposed to drink on the way home after a long
Like,
hard
I'm
day's
coming
work?"
back from work. I'm tired. I want to crack a beer on my drive home.
People are just appalled that they cannot drink and drive anymore.
There was a clip of a UFC fighter that talked about he doesn't believe in seatbelts. He's like, my mom didn't do seatbelts. He's like, it's not great if you have to like jump out and roll out of a vehicle in an emergency. Like it's like he went into this whole thing, and it was on I forget what the name of the podcast, but it's the Tom Segura with his wife. It's their podcast, and
Your mom's house.
your mom's house. Thank you. And they were just like, God only gives people a finite amount of skills, and if you're going to be an incredibly great UFC fighter, you can't be smart. Like you can't.
That's really
Like, and he was
funny.
just hey, this is how I feel about seatbelts. I don't believe in them. It's just like, okay, okay. But it was in
Yeah,
the same vibe. I thought of those videos of them like, wait a second, I can't drink and drive now. Same thing with seatbelts.
yeah,
I'm sure that there was a video about seatbelts too, where it's like, what is this thing restricting me? Like it's I've been
yeah,
a
dude.
rope
There's
burning
another
my
one like
neck.
that about. There's another one about that with snowboarders. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
They interview a bunch of skiers on the hill, and they're like, "Those guys are gonna kill somebody. Who would do such a thing?"
Yeah,
It's like I don't
I
know.
think
It's
people forget
just probably
how.
as harmless as you.
Yeah, I think people forget how much outrage people get at everything. Not just the big issues that people are like, oh, people were outraged about, you know, big big items, but even the small stuff where it's like, oh yeah, seatbelts, they're gonna save lives. Not in my car, they're not. So
Not on my watch.
well, you can click that thing shut and then just leave it behind. I'm not like people with scissors
That's
just cutting off seatbelts and like never in my car.
Do you remember those cars? I don't know what they were, but you closed the door and the seatbelt automatically came down on top of
Oh
you.
yeah, those are cool. They were weird,
Yeah.
and I got
That,
caught in them a
it
lot.
just seemed annoying as
They
hell.
were terrible if like you were just like quick like park, get out of the car. It's like park and then just it's like okay, cool. I kind of forgot about that. Um, I'd be curious to see if there's a video of the first cars that well like discontinued had an ashtray because like most cars don't have an ashtray. Like you can find a spot for an ashtray in some, but like there used to be a
Mhm.
legit. Here's the ashtray. Here's the
Oh yeah,
lighter.
I remember that.
So I wonder if
They
there
had a little
was.
spot where you poke your cigarette into
Mhm.
it.
So I wonder if there's a video about that where people are just like, how am I supposed to light my cigarettes with my lighter? That's dangerous.
That's funny. Dude, the worst burn I ever got. I pushed the thing in,
Hmm.
the cigarette lighter
Yeah,
turned orange. And you pull it out and you look, and me and my brothers were like, "Oh, it's orange."
yeah.
The second it stopped being
You
orange,
touched it.
my stupid reptile brain was like, "Oh, it's not hot anymore." And I touched it. Dude, I had the perfect bullseye on my fingertip for
Yeah,
years.
I touched the coil of the stove when it was orange because I was just like, that looks cool. Just burned my finger. Um, but you know that those things are hot because according to the Goofy movie, you can put a can of soup on one of those and it'll warm it up.
Dude, I was at a wedding a couple of weeks ago,
Hmm.
and the groom, he's a great guy, friends with him, extremely nerdy dude.
It's good that you're friends with
Just
him and you got invited to the wedding. That
driest sense of humor,
mhm.
funny but just ridiculously dry, very like lab rat, very smart.
Okay.
The last song, he cleared the dance floor, and I couldn't picture this guy dancing. I'm like, I went into this wedding thinking like, I don't see. I'm not gonna bleep that out, would you? I don't see him dancing. Danced his heart out with his mom. Was the best dance I've ever seen with a mother son first dance.
Okay.
And then the last song of the the night was the song from the Goofy movie, like the last song that they play.
Oh, Eye to
And he
Eye.
was just eye to eye, yeah.
Yeah,
He was on the dance floor by himself, just absolutely tearing it up.
it's
And it's
the
like
30-year anniversary of that movie. That's an amazing song. That whole soundtrack is the best.
30 years.
Yeah,
Oh, it is a great song for sure.
yeah.
But he cleared the dance floor. He's like, I want everyone to see me dance to this song by myself.
Can you name the singer of that song? The actual singer, not the animated singer.
I just looked it up after the song was stuck in my head for days after that wedding.
Hmm.
I just looked it up. It is not Michael Jackson, which I really wanted it to be, but it's not.
That would have been cool. Shout out to
Who is it?
Tevin Campbell.
Does he do anything else, or is he a
He's
one-hit
he's an
Goofy
incredible
wonder?
singer. He does have a musical career that I think he's still active in the music industry, but him as Powerline to me is the pinnacle. I know that might seem like an insult if I tell him like, "Hey, that was your best work." That is an iconic. I mean, there were people that I saw talking about the movie recently because of the 30th anniversary, and they're like, "Oh, there's people that is a like milestone, like childhood movie above the classic Disney movies."
Yeah, you cannot find a person who's like, oh, that song at the end of the Goofy movie, I hate that song.
Also, find me a better animated or movie pizza than the pizza in that movie.
I was always really jealous of the spray cheese, the squeeze
Oh, the
cheese.
squeezed cheese, yeah, yeah, with Pauly Shore's
It looks
character.
so good. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible movie. It hits much differently now that I am a parent with a son. Um,
Hmm.
was not expecting that when I watched it again. I'm like, oh, kids, let's watch this movie. Then I'm like, oh God, like okay. And then like I like watch it, and then I'm like, do I have to go like
Don't cry, don't
apologize
cry,
to my
don't cry,
dad and
don't
give him a
cry.
hug and just be like what's happening here? It's an incredible movie. I'm just this whole week I'm just gonna use nothing but Goofy movie music for all the reels. That's just what I'm gonna do now.
Perfect.
Tevin Campbell. I'm just gonna tag him in everything. Get Tevin Campbell on here. He probably makes his own hot sauce. He has that Asian themed hot sauce with Thai chilies. It's Thai to Thai. You're welcome. This is where
Oh
the
man.
episode gets cut off by most of the audience.
Yeah.
Now that we're on video on YouTube video, it's like I'm sure I can find the algorithm where it's like, hey, here's where everyone just said, that's enough for today.
Yeah, they have like the little like the
The
viewership bar.
chart just drops. Just
Yeah.
a swift drop.
Matt dropped a dad joke.
But had something else I was going to bring up, but the tangent has gone on too far. Let's talk about the score on this sauce because I liked their mention of the crab rangoon because I could see that being real good.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah,
Um,
that's a good one.
I don't. I mean, usually when I'm having like Asian cuisine and hot sauce, it's not usually like the Chinese food that I get at the place. Like if I usually get uh, Chinese dishes, I'm getting spicy dishes there generally. It's when I'm making stuff at home, like if I'm making fried rice at home or whatever, and throwing sauce on there.
Hmm.
But I need to do that more with like the crab rangoon and like the egg roll. I think that would be really good.
Yeah. What is the sweet and sour sauce? Is that like ketchup and corn syrup?
It's not healthy, but it's the best.
Isn't that what it is though? Pretty much ketchup and corn
It
syrup.
might be ketchup, corn syrup, MSG. Whip it up.
That would go good in there though, to spice it up.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I know bottle fed hot sauce. They do that. Their red sauce is very much like a heated up sweet and sour. But if you wanted to take the original sweet and sour from a place and just spice it, honestly, their wild berry whoop ass would also be good in the sweet and sour because
Yeah.
it's got that sweetness that and then switching the sweetness for a little bit more fruitiness. I've thrown the wild berry whoop ass in bronco berry sauce for like the Arby's jalapeno poppers. So good,
Hmm.
super hot, so good.
Right.
But let's talk about the score on this. So again, with our score, with the heat, 0 to 5, the 0, no heat, 1, presence of heat, 2 is it starting to linger, 3 is where you're reacting, 4 is good pain, 5 is bad pain. I think this is like the highest 3 you could get. Like I didn't react terribly, but I can't put this lower than a 3 because I think it's just it. The more you have it, it definitely hurts, and I think that works because like 3 out of 5 for us, 6 out of 10 on their score. The math, the fractions add up.
Yeah.
And then for my score, I had this as a 78 out of 100.
I'd 75.
I think this is like a really good solid. That it's pepper forward. That lime and that honey is a nice touch. It's very universal in what you can use it for, and I like the simplicity of it. Anything 75 or above is something that we would want in our kitchen year round. Anything above 50 we'd recommend to buy. So this is very solidly right in that recommend to buy. I would recommend this. Anybody that wants a good punch of heat with pepper, that pepper flavor, that habanero flavor, I think this is fantastic for that. And again, they know their stuff. Like that touch of sweetness and the lime in the beginning. It's such a really nice. It's one of the more distinct like initial flavors I've had in sauces lately, where normally it's like you get you get the heat and then you're dealing with more of the aftertaste flavors, or you're dealing with like working through the flavors on the next spoonful. And this one, I was surprised at how quickly those other flavors were coming in, and then the heat punches up.
Right.
Um,
Nope, I agree. It's a good one though,
no, I
for
thought that was
sure.
good.
I'm definitely gonna tear through this one on chips.
Yeah, I think this one, I think this one is not going to be a long lasting one. The only thing is that I've got some sauces that I've got a friend of mine that a few friends that I can give hot sauce to, and I want to see their reaction or their opinion on. And this would be one I'd be curious for their reaction to just that initial flavor and then just that power of the heat on this. So might have to do that. Um, I was gonna do, but I feel like it's hard to tell because we started recording earlier than when the episode actually started. But I was gonna have us talk about a hot sauce from our fridge, but we might save that for another episode. We weren't sure with the one sauce. We weren't sure how the rest of the episode was gonna be filled. We had a lot of tangents in there. Obviously, we got a little more discussion on the Direwolf than just a straight up fact, so that was nice. And we got to build our own hot sauce festivals. Which, if anyone's listening, if you reply comment to either the original post, or I'll probably make a clip of the hot sauce festival conversation, and let us know what your picks would be if you were going to build that. If you had a celebrity of choice or a concert of choice, who would it be at the shows? Let's hear some people's ideal hot sauce festivals. Also, because I'm not used to doing this on YouTube yet, if you are watching on YouTube, comment below on the video, like, subscribe. But if you comment from here, Mike, you can pick the word. If you comment a specific word, I will mail out a sticker and a pin from our original logo that we still have merch of. So Mike, you can pick the word that they have to comment.
Oh, let's go. I was more excited about the dodo bird getting brought back than the direwolf. So let's go dodo bird.
So comment dodo bird on the YouTube video, and you will get a sticker and a pin from our original logo. So we're talking I got some right here actually. We're talking the old school microphone
Could be
and
worth
pepper.
something.
Yeah,
No longer made anymore.
no longer made. It's unless maybe we'll get a starter jacket a la the Charlotte Hornets. Get a throwback starter jacket of it, dude. If we walked around in starter jackets of the heat source, that would be a pinnacle moment for me. Also, it'd be like it's Illinois and it's like 95 degrees out. What are you doing?
That's funny.
Also, they did announce the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo. They did announce the dates for that, and it's actually at a different venue in Joliet, Illinois. It's actually in the parking lot of the Joliet Mall. So
Okay.
Sam from Sam Sauce just messaged me recently and was talking to me about that. And at first when he said mall, I was thinking inside. I'm like, oh, don't have to worry about the rain. But then I forgot they have a wrestling ring that they do, and I'm like, probably would not work in the mall. But
You're gonna work around like the kids' play area.
but I was excited because I was like, oh, get myself a Wetzel's pretzel and Orange Julius at the mall, and then bring that to the hot sauce show and be like, all right, let's spice these things up.
Oh, an orange Julius sounds good.
This is a free idea that I'm sure they could steal if they want, but I'm sure Steve Seabury has his own plans already for this. It would be funny if their food competitions they did, because they're outside the mall, were all mall-based foods, like mall court or food court foods.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're gonna do the world's spiciest pretzel, we're gonna do the world's spiciest slice of Sabaro's pizza, we're gonna do these two different Chinese dishes from dueling Chinese restaurants.
Carolina Jamba Juice.
Yeah, Jamba Juice, a spicy Dairy Queen, Blizzard, the whole thing. So, but yeah, so again, PexPeppers.com, Pex Peppers LLC on Instagram. Special thank you to Pex Peppers for sending us the sauce. Again, met them at the Albuquerque show last year. Super great people. Really know their stuff on the pepper side. Really, unique flavors with power. So a lot of times we get some of those milder sauces where you taste all the elements. The two sauces we've tried so far have packed a lot of heat in those bottles. So good job to them.
Big time.
Also, a special thank you to Scoville, who did sponsor this episode. Mike, I did not mention the redirect, but there is a Scoville ad in this episode. So you were not a part of it this time because I pre-recorded that one. But if you do the heat source at Scoville.com, you get 50% off your first month of a monthly subscription. That's Scoville.com. So again, thank you for sponsoring this week's episode. And again, thank you for listening however you listen. If you want to support the podcast and gain additional perks, please consider our Patreon. Whether you join or not, we appreciate you for listening. And if you'd like to sponsor an episode like Scoville has, send us a message at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Heat Source Podcast for all updates. And tune again next week when we'll see if I actually get hot sauce delivered to Mike so we can continue doing the podcast.
Restock week, and I have to get your Christmas present. It is only middle of April.
I love a good Christmas Easter gift combo. It's always a good one. So until next week, we'll see.
See ya.
The unique garlic from Ed Curry's collection, it's good. Like, it's got Italian seasoning in there, but it is a heater.
That just fell out of the bottom of my chair.
You're gonna fall eventually. That's strike one. Did you just break the chair?
I don't know.
I mean, why did you test it?
I don't know.